I supported my parents' retirement for 15 years, paid their bills, covered everything. Then they cut me out of their will like I never existed. I uncovered my parents' decades of fraud. 5 years later, my mom's working at a grocery store, a place she once scoffed at. I was always the responsible one. When my dad hurt his back at 12, they made it clear I had to step up. My younger brother, Marcus, was too young. By 16, every paycheck went to keeping our lights on. They'd hug me, call me their little provider, but only on payday. At 19, I got into college with a partial scholarship, just needing their signature for financial aid. They refused, saying the family needed me working. 4 years later, Marcus got into the same college. They signed his papers immediately and took out loans for him, while I worked 2 jobs to pay rent. The real trap came at 32. I tried to reduce my monthly payments to them from $3,500 to $2,000, as my fiancé Jordan and I wanted to save for our wedding. My parents exploded. My mom called my boss, claiming I was unstable and stealing from them. I almost lost my job, having to prove I was giving them money. It was humiliating. Last year, I tried to skip 1 month for Jordan's surgery. They showed up at my office, made a scene, and security had to remove them. My biggest client saw it all and dropped us, costing me a $50,000 commission. When they mentioned updating their will after Mom's stroke, I saw a light. They'd always promised everything would be mine due to my sacrifices. Jordan and I dreamed of moving into their home, which Dad built. We just learned we needed IVF, but I told them we could start after the will was settled. Sunday dinner arrived. Marcus was there, a bad sign. Dad cleared his throat. Everything goes to Marcus. My breath caught. Then he added, and you'll get the family business. That was Dad's auto shop, closed for 5 years, with $180,000 in debt, environmental violations, and back taxes. This is a joke, right? I said. Marcus smirked. My mom said, you're so good with money, you'll turn it around. Jordan stated, that shop will bankrupt us. Mom's face hardened. Besides, Marcus will give us grandchildren. You failed us there too. The final blow. Of course, we'll still need our monthly payments. I stood up and walked out. In the car, Jordan showed me her phone. She documented everything. $412,000 over 15 years, every payment, receipt, and bank transfer. She'd also recorded my parents' threats and video of the office incident. I've been preparing, she said. I knew this day would come. My phone buzzed. Diane, my parents' paralegal friend. The shop has liens. Don't sign anything. Call me now. I researched the shop. It needed $300,000 just to break even. The cleanup alone was $100,000. It wasn't an inheritance. It was a trap. The next day, I returned with documents. I've learned from my past mistakes, I stated, placing a cease and desist letter from my lawyer on the table. My mom started crying. How will we survive? The bank is closed permanently, I said. I pulled out another document. I've already notified the creditors that I won't be accepting your business. Marcus paled. But you have to take the shop. It's family legacy. Your inheritance, your problem, I said. Hope the house sells for enough to cover it. Dad, red-faced, threatened to destroy me. Try it, I said calmly. I have lawyers this time. I walked out as they turned on Marcus, demanding how he'd pay the debts. 3 weeks later, Diane called urgently. My grandmother had left me a trust, which my parents had hidden. They'd been taking money from me longer than I thought. At her office, Diane showed me the documents. My grandmother had set up a $150,000 trust for me at birth, to be mine at 25. Withdrawal records, starting at my 25th birthday, all had my signature, but I'd never known about it. The signatures were forged. Over $200,000 was stolen, all going into my parents' account. They'd been stealing from me while I gave them everything. I hired a forensic accountant, Arthur. He specialized in family financial fraud and found more. Credit cards opened in my name at 16, maxed out and unpaid, ruining my credit before adulthood. He also found the house they lived in was in my name. They'd forged my signature to buy it with trust money. I'd been paying rent on my own house. The irony was bitter. Arthur also found they claimed me as a dependent for years, and Dad collected disability while working under the table. Every lie, theft, and forgery was documented in a 100-page report. I took it to the police. Detective Isabella said family white-collar crime was tricky, but the evidence was overwhelming. She warned me things would get ugly. Days later, Marcus showed up, panicked. The police had called them. He saw the report and went white. "Are you really sending our parents to jail?" he asked. I told him they sent themselves. He tried to grab the report, but Jordan stepped in. He left, calling me family destroying. For the first time, Marcus looked scared. The next morning, my mom posted a Facebook sob story about her ungrateful daughter abandoning them. My family called, texting. Jordan deleted Facebook from my phone. Isabella called. My parents denied everything, claiming I authorized them, even producing a typed letter with a forged signature. They hired a lawyer, Donald. 2 days later, my boss called. My parents had told him I was having a mental breakdown. I had to explain everything. He told me to take time off, but I heard the doubt. That night, all 4 of my tires were slashed. The garage camera was conveniently off. I knew it was Marcus, but couldn't prove it. We installed new locks and a doorbell camera. The next week, their lawyer offered to settle. $50,000 from the trust, paid over 10 years, if I dropped charges and continued paying them $2,000 monthly. I laughed. They were still trying to control me. I rejected it. Things escalated. My dad showed up at Jordan's work, accusing her of manipulating me. Jordan came home crying, suggesting we just settle. I refused. Isabella called. The handwriting expert confirmed the forgeries. Withdrawals from the trust stopped when Mom had her stroke, leading Isabella to believe they planned to frame me for elder abuse. Now they were scrambling. My parents tried new tactics, calling extended family, with sob stories, even Jordan's parents. Jordan had to spend an hour explaining. Her parents were horrified. Arthur found more evidence. They used my social security number for years, opened utility accounts in my name and never paid, took out payday loans. The credit damage was massive, taking years to fix. I told Arthur to keep digging. Marcus called, repeatedly. I didn't answer. His last voicemail was drunk. He knew about the trust. Mom and Dad promised to share it if he kept quiet. He needed his inheritance for debts, begging me to drop everything. I saved it. Isabella arrested my parents on a Tuesday. Charges: identity theft, fraud, forgery. I sat in my office, thinking of all the years I gave them everything while they stole from me. My mom called from jail, crying hysterically, calling me a monster, wishing she'd never had me. I hung up, shaking. Jordan held me as I cried from anger. They made bail that afternoon, Marcus putting up his car. He'd borrowed from loan sharks for their lawyer. He was in deep. The next weeks were legal meetings. My lawyer built a civil case. The prosecutor handled criminal. The evidence grew. Their lawyer kept trying to negotiate, but the offers were insulting. They wanted to admit minimal wrongdoing, repay a fraction, and still be supported. Delusional. My dad ambushed me at the grocery store. He reminisced, saying we could work it out. I told him we weren't family, we were victim and criminal. He got angry, said I owed them. I said children don't owe parents for the bare minimum. He raised his hand. Another shopper intervened. My mom tried emotional manipulation, sending old photos with messages about love and trust money for family expenses. I didn't respond. Jordan suggested blocking her, but I kept the messages as harassment evidence. Marcus's desperation grew. Loan sharks wanted their money. He showed up at my apartment, banging, demanding money. The doorbell camera caught it. He looked terrible. Part of me pitied him, but he knew about the theft and said nothing. Isabella called. They found more victims. My dad's elderly aunt's missing money years ago. Suspicions about my grandmother's will change. My workplace suffered. Clients asked questions. Co-workers whispered. I started looking for a new job. Jordan was my rock, handling lawyers, documenting, reminding me why we fought. To build our family without their shadow. To use our money for IVF, for peace. Arthur found more. Investment accounts opened in my name, playing the stock market with my money and losing. Property bought with trust funds, also in my name. But I saw no profit. The rental income went to them. Their lawyer made another offer. $150,000 restitution, house and rental property transfer, and no contact if I dropped criminal charges. My lawyer said it was progress, but still not enough for over $400,000 stolen plus credit and career damage. We rejected it. Then things got dangerous. Anonymous threats, texts, emails. I gave everything to Isabella. She increased patrols. She believed it was them. One night our door was open. Nothing stolen, but things moved. A message. We stayed in a hotel. Isabella suggested a restraining order, but proving it was them was hard. Marcus had alibis. Parents claimed to be distraught. My cousin Maria reached out, recalling odd things from childhood. Grandma's birthday, money vanishing, parents doing the same to her brother. She believed me now. The prosecutor called plea deal. Guilty to lesser charges, probation, restitution, no jail time. My choice. Trials were risky. Jordan and I talked for hours. Part of me wanted them jailed. They stole. Years. Part of me just wanted it over. We were stressed, living in fear. Couldn't start IVF. Maybe probation was enough. I was leaning towards the plea deal when Arthur called. He found something huge. Multiple life insurance policies on me, totaling over $1 million premiums paid from my trust. I was horrified. If something happened to me, they'd get a huge payout. The threats became terrifying. I called Isabella. She took it seriously, urging me not to be alone. Jordan and I varied our routines. My parents must have sensed the shift. Their lawyer made a new offer. Full restitution of $400,000, transfer of all property, and guilty pleas to all charges for minimum sentence. My lawyer said it was the best. Prosecutor agreed, maybe a year or two. Not enough for what they did, but something. I struggled. They raised me, but they stole my past and tried to steal my future. Before I could decide, Marcus made his move. He showed up at my office with two large, hard-faced men. Security stopped them, but Marcus screamed. I'd ruined his life. Family business debts were due. People were coming for him. If I didn't fix it, he would fix me. Isabella identified one man as a loan shark enforcer. Marcus was in danger, desperate enough to endanger me. Isabella would question him. That night, I couldn't sleep. My own family threatening me, all because I said no, demanded what was mine. Jordan held me as I cried from exhaustion. I was so tired of fighting, but couldn't give up. The next morning, chaos. Marcus was arrested for terroristic threats. The loan sharks were also picked up. My parents' house was searched. Police found evidence of their crimes, forged documents, fake IDs, records of all their schemes. Their arrogance was their downfall. My mom called from her lawyer's office, calm. She'd accept the plea, guilty, serve her time. One condition. She wanted to see me, explain why. I didn't owe her, but I was curious. Jordan didn't want me to go, but I needed closure. We met. My mom looked small, old. She talked about her poor childhood, swearing her kids wouldn't struggle. The trust money was for the family. I was selfish. I would have wasted it anyway. Even facing prison, she couldn't admit wrongdoing. My dad spoke next. His injury ruined his dreams. I was his retirement plan. I betrayed him. Marcus understood. Loyalty. I was corrupted by Jordan. He believed his own lies. Stealing from me was justified because I existed to serve them. I felt nothing listening to their excuses. No anger, no sadness, just emptiness. These people were strangers. Real parents don't steal from their children, destroy their future, or love conditionally. I stood to leave. My mom asked if I had anything to say. I told her I forgave them, not for them, but for me. I wouldn't carry their poison. As I walked, out, Dad called. They'd need somewhere to stay when they got out. I didn't turn around. Jordan was waiting. I'm free, I told her. The legal process moved quickly. Parents pleaded guilty to multiple counts of fraud, identity theft, and forgery. Sentenced to 18 months federal prison, 5 years probation, Full restitution, though I knew I wouldn't see it all. Marcus pleaded guilty to threats. 6 months plus anger management. The house was mine. Jordan and I saw it after they were imprisoned. It felt tainted. We sold it for a fresh start. My credit improved. My employer was understanding. I even got promoted. The house sold fast. Money went to a new bank. We found a nice apartment. 6 months into their sentence, Mom sent a letter from prison. Complaints? No apology. Hints for commissary money. I trashed it. Marcus got out first. He called, leaving voicemails saying he was sorry, needed help. Same old Marcus. I blocked the number. Arthur finished. Nearly $500,000 stolen over 20 years. He helped me recover what we could. Jordan and I finally started IVF. The first 2 rounds failed, but we kept trying. The clinic was expensive, but we could afford it now. No more sending thousands to my parents. That money went to our future. My extended family slowly came around. Aunt Emily apologized for believing my parents. Uncle Billy was proud. Isabella updated me. Grandmother's death investigation closed, but the will changes were suspicious, done by a disbarred lawyer. My parents were lucky too much time passed. I got a new, better job. No one knew my family history. My boss, Jessine, taught me to negotiate for myself. Prison changed my parents. They moved in with Marcus in a tiny apartment, struggling. Good. They needed to know what poverty felt like. They tried to contact me when they got out, showing up at my old apartment, old job, Jordan's parents. They gave up. The 3rd round of IVF worked. Jordan was pregnant with twins. We were overjoyed, but terrified. 2 babies meant double everything. We set up college funds no one could touch. These kids would have what I never did. Security, and parents who put them first. Then my parents made one last play. They sued me, claiming the house sale was illegal. I manipulated them. Their lawyer filed a civil suit for the house money plus damages. My lawyer laughed. Criminal convictions meant no case. The civil case was dismissed. Their lawyer tried to appeal, but no one would take it. Marcus blamed me, saying our parents were broken. I found out Mom was working at a grocery store, just like I had at 16 to support them. Karma. Jordan went into labor 2 weeks early. 8 hours later, a boy and a girl. We named them after Jordan's grandparents. A fresh start. My parents found out, sent a card to the hospital, threatening court for visitation rights. My lawyer sent a cease and desist. They had no rights to anything of mine, especially not my children. We moved again, different city, a complete fresh start. The twins grew fast. My parents missed it all. Sometimes I felt sad my kids wouldn't know their grandparents, but better know grandparents than toxic ones. 2 years passed peacefully. We settled into routine, quiet happiness. Then Diane called. She found documents. My grandmother had set up education funds for all grandchildren, separate college accounts. My parents drained those too, forged my signature to close them, used the money for Marcus's college while telling me I couldn't afford school. The betrayal still stung, but the bank kept records. The fraud was documented. My lawyer filed additional claims. My parents' probation officer was not happy. The judge added another year of probation and increased restitution. My parents, would be paying me back until they died. Marcus disappeared. Gossip said he skipped town owing money. My parents were evicted from his apartment, ended up in a shelter, then subsidized senior housing. The same kind of place they always said they were too good for. I felt nothing. They had made their choices. They chose money over family and lost, both. The twins started preschool. They were confident, happy. No anxiety about money, no fear of disappointment. Everything I worked for, everything my parents tried to steal. But we had won. My credit score finally recovered fully. It took 5 years. I qualified for a business loan, started my own consulting firm, helping other victims of financial fraud. It felt good turning my pain into purpose. The business grew. I hired Arthur. We were a good team. Jordan suggested I write about our experience, maybe someday. For now, I focused on moving forward, building the life my parents denied me, being the parent they never were. We had one more scare. Dad had a heart attack at 75. Marcus called, saying Dad wanted to see me. I asked if Dad was sorry. Marcus said no. I wished him well and hung up. Dad survived but needed constant care. Mom couldn't provide it while working. They ended up in separate facilities. The state paid all their schemes, and they ended up exactly where they feared. Dependent on strangers. Some people judge me, think I'm heartless. They don't understand that no contact isn't cruelty. It's self-defense. The twins are 7. We tell them age-appropriate truths about safe people. Jordan and I are trying for another baby. IVF again, now we can afford it. The money they stole is helping create the grandchildren they'll never meet. That's their loss. Sometimes I dream about them. Not nightmares. Just sad dreams of what could have been. But you can't change people. Only how you respond. I chose freedom. Their betrayal taught me strength. Their lies taught me truth. Their conditional love taught me unconditional love. I'm a better parent. My kids will never doubt they're loved, never feel like walking ATMs. The trust money is gone, but I've built something better. A life free from manipulation. A family based on love. True security. My parents gave me trauma and debt, but from that, nothing. I built everything.